Newberg here. One of the most common questions we get is about what do these numbers mean when it comes to rifle scopes? What do all these acronyms mean when it comes to rifle scopes? I'm going to give you a real basic overview of this stuff. All right, folks, I've got two boxes here from Leupold, and I grabbed these two because they show a little bit of distinction and difference. So, VX5 HD means high def. VX3I, that's just the model number. VX5 and VX3I are the model numbers. The VX5 is, in Leupold's nomenclature, a function of 5x on the magnification. So 2 to 10, 3 to 15, 4 to 20. Here, a 3, VX-3, is a 3 times multiplier of magnification. Really what in Leupold's world, VX5, VX3, VX6 means how the multiplication of the power or the magnification works. This VX5 comes in a 30 millimeter tube. The VX3I comes in a 1-inch tube. We all know that 1 inch is 25.4 millimeters. So what they're talking about is the size of the tube between the objective lens and the eyepiece. So the 30 millimeter or the 1 inch is really just explaining what this tube size is here. And then it says fire dot duplex and duplex. What that is the reticle. And a lot of people say, well, what is a reticle? Well, looking through your scope, right, you have a crosshair. And you can have all kinds of different designs, fine, heavy, whatever, of what that crosshair configuration is of what you see when you look through the scope. So, having discussed the numbers, here's the parts and pieces to a scope. So, you have your eyepiece on this end. Some will call it your ocular lens. You hear it called all kinds of things. And then you have your objective lens, which is always your bigger end. Most manufacturers somewhere on the scope will print the numbers that you need to pay attention to, in addition to having them on the box. So this said Leupold VX3I 3.5 to 10 by 40 millimeter. Well, the 3.5 to 10 talks about what the magnification range is as you adjust. You can go from 3.5 all the way up to 10. Then the last number, 40 millimeters, on every scope I'm aware of, is the diameter of the objective lens. So what you have is pretty simple. So elevation is always adjusted on the top, and your windage, in other words, left to right, is always set with the dial on the side. And the dial on the side will tell you, okay, this one says 1 click equals 1/4 minute. MOA, minute of angle, is an angular measurement. So, right, we got 360 degrees in a circle. And then you take 1 degree and you take a degree and you break it down into minutes, and then you can break it down even tighter into seconds. One of the things that's helpful with a minute of angle is almost, it's not exactly, but it's almost exactly 1 inch at 100 yards. So most people say, okay, if I'm off whatever at 100 yards, okay, I know that a 1/4 minute of angle at 100 yards, okay, I should adjust that if I'm off 1 inch. 4 should get me really close. So probably the last thing that I think is worth talking about in a basic video about scopes is eye relief. And eye relief is the distance measured usually in millimeters from the ocular lens, the lens closest to your eye, to your pupil. And the idea is you want to have this adjusted so that when you come to your natural shooting position, whether it's upright or whether it's prone, you see the full field of view in the scope, that you're not just seeing a little portion of it. So it's really important to go out and practice with your natural shooting positions to make sure that your eye relief is what you need it to be, especially if you're shooting a larger cartridge with a lot of recoil. Because if you have to lean way forward to get your eye relief proper, and that scope is right about here, that recoil, especially if you're shooting uphill, is going to give you a really ugly scar right above your eye. So eye relief is super important, one, so you don't get what they call scope ring, And two, just so that you're not struggling moving back and forth, trying to get the full field of view in the ocular lens of your scope. Eye relief, don't overlook it, adjust it properly, and you'll be just fine. Well, there you have it, folks. Rifle scopes are actually pretty easy. All this acronym stuff, all these terms, all these numbers, I hope it makes a little sense to you now. Good luck out there. Be safe. Have fun.